Everyone.
There it goes. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Principal. I actually have so much to talk about. There's so much going on at our school right now that I actually brought notes and my coffee. So hope you'll hear about everything today. And if you have any questions, we can talk about them. So we've had a lot of really exciting things going on at the school. I've included a lot of them, as much as I can remember, because literally each week there's so many things going on in the Sunday newsletter. So please make sure you read the newsletter, because it gives you a lot of important dates and a lot of things that you'll want to hear about. On the STEM side, we just spoke yesterday to the engineering design side of Tesla, and they are going to start something with our school to be announced in spring. And everybody's like, yay! So they're going to work with our students on design and how they actually got to that design and all that stuff. So we're really excited about that. We're working with the mayor's office with Women in STEM, and they are going to, in spring, start meeting with our high schoolers that are doing AP research and connect them with graduate students in the STEM field. So if, for instance, if they're studying biomedical, they're going to connect them with a graduate student who's also doing biomedical. So really excited about that, and that's going to help out our AP students, but it also give them some mentors. And then we're also working with Hyperloop One on a possible redesign or design of our school area. We're talking about trying to bring in another 2-story bungalow building so that we can be pretty much enclosed in this space. And we want to definitely include the girls in that design process, as well as being connected with the city and being connected with Hyperloop One. It's kind of a great, exciting opportunity for the girls to actually be involved in a design of their own campus. So we're super excited about that as well. On the leadership side, many of you saw that the city attorney, Mike Fewer, came to visit us last week, and he is committed to providing some leadership opportunities for our middle school girls so that they can get exposed to being an attorney, being a judge, anything in politics, because that's really where that starts, that interest in that area. So the attorney's office, city attorney's office, is going to bring in some mentors, and he himself is going to come speak to the girls. So we're super excited about that as well. And let me turn off my radio. And then we are starting our International Women's Day, March 8th, Women's Conference. So people who would like to be involved with that, they'll hear about that later from the parents, but I'm really excited about that because everybody wants to be part of that. Everybody wants to help our girls. So that's very exciting as well. Our many field trips continue, as you've probably seen the things that you've come home and you've had to sign. So just in the last 2 weeks, Cash for College, Destination College, Marciano Museum, and SpaceX. So there's a lot more. Those are just some of the ones that we've been to. If you saw in the newsletter, our AP STEM enrollment is the highest in the state of California. I don't have the test scores back yet to tell you how our test scores compare, but just that enrollment is a big factor. The exposure to those courses is really important. And also our SBAC scores are some of the highest in the state. So we're really proud of not just providing field trips and those kinds of things, but providing an excellent education for your daughters. Our student leadership has been super busy. This year is the first year they're doing a lot of activities on their own. We're going to have a Spirit Week next week. So every single day there's something they've organized at lunch to recognize our teams, our fall sports teams, the tennis team and the cross-country team, and then to rev up our basketball season, which is our winter sport. And then we'll finish with our very first winter dance. I'm really excited about that. And of course, I'm sure daughters have asked for chaperones, and we will need many chaperones. So if you want to volunteer for that, also Fogala will talk to you about that. Our music and dance department are hosting their first combined music dance winter performances on December 4th and 5th at night in the Corwin Theater. Tickets should be on sale within the next week or so for that. And that's a fundraiser for our arts program. Something going on?
Yeah, it's not the link that they promote it. It's not actually live.
Oh, okay.
we'll just
Keep going?
We'll
Okay.
just record.
Okay, and we'll just record. Okay. Our own Good Morning Gala broadcast team has a weekly broadcast now every week. They've gotten better and better each week, and we're really proud of them. The communications department of LA Unified is going to come this Friday and talk to them about just careers in communications and in broadcast and that kind of thing. And we're hoping to get a field trip to an actual news station for them to see behind the scenes what happens in an actual news situation. And we're super proud of our high school robotics team. They had their very first competition this last Saturday, and they came in 8th out of 14 teams, which is pretty amazing. Their first try. Yay! Broadcast! They've also been involved with a bunch of fundraisers for their equipment, and that's been amazing too, that they have that desire to make sure that this works. A reminder of upcoming holidays. Monday, there's no school this coming Monday. And then the week of the 19th through the 23rd is our Thanksgiving break. I wanted to also talk a little bit about our after-school program now that it's getting dark. It would be better if you can pick your daughter up at least by 5 because it does get really dark and we don't have a ton of lights around our building. So if you can at all, I know people work and they can't always do that, try to pick up earlier now that it's getting dark. For our high school students, they can stay with Miss Adrian and Miss Nur as well as any of the office hours until 4:30. And then they need to either be picked up, get their own way home, or go across the street to the Memorial Library. We don't have anything else for them after 4:30. For Beyond the Bell, that's middle school. That's only middle school. They can stay through 6 o'clock. And then just a reminder too to parents, we've had a number of parents picking up after 6. Not only am I tired, but the coaches are tired. So can you please make sure you're here before 6? And honestly, if it keeps happening, they will lose a right to be at Beyond the Bell. It's a free program brought to us by the district. So our school tours are winding down. And thank you to all the parents and students that have been part of the on-site tours and the off-site tours. I couldn't do it without you. And we have tons and tons of interest already. About 200 applications already in, even though they're not due till January 1. So we have some time on that, but it's kind of interesting that we have so many so far. Our end of the school talent show is on our last day of instruction before the winter break. And I wanted to remind everyone to make sure that your daughter is there because it is really fun. The girls love it and it's our own talent. It's only for students. Unfortunately, no parents can't come, but it's really a fun day and the girls really enjoy it. And they don't want to miss it by being out to go on vacation early. And remember, you have 3 weeks of vacation, so there shouldn't really be any reason to go early. Okay, so in our this is a whole other topic. In our advisories, we've been working, as you know, on social emotional skills, and we use an anti-bullying curriculum called Second Step. We've been working 6th grade all the way through 11th on how we relate to one another, how we talk to one another. We have community circles every Friday where the girls are talking about issues that may be coming up in their day or in their week or in society in general, depending as you move up from 6th to 11th grade. And so we do a lot of really hard work in our advisory system to do that social emotional work. And then we also have 2 wonderful counselors that also help us with social emotional work. And it's really important that if children have issues or parents have issues that they let us know, because if we don't know, we can't help the girls figure it out. We often have a lot of, particularly in middle school, friendship issues, like who's friends with who's sitting with who at lunch, those kinds of things. And those can be easily negotiated by an advisory teacher, by myself, by the counselor, and everyone can feel pretty good about setting boundaries in their relationships or exploring new relationships. And it's really, really important that we know when there's an issue with your child because we want them to be happy here. They're going to get a great education, but we also want them to be happy. They want them to love to go to school. We don't want them to feel uncomfortable at all here. So please, please let us know if there's ever an issue and we will deal with it.
Question kind of along those lines. For girls who are having challenge sometimes, quote, fitting in, because they may have different interests. Like for instance, my daughter has mentioned that a lot of the girls like dance and what else did she say? A couple of other things. And she's completely into something completely else. She's more into video games and ice hockey. Actually, I posted something on Facebook about it last night. Is there anything that's done to maybe get the girls to appreciate each other's interests and talents? You still can be friends even though you may have different interests.
So the question came up because you can't hear the questions here, so I'm going to repeat and kind of make sure if I'm saying the right thing. That if students have different interests and they might not be fitting in with their friend group because their friends might all be interested in dance, but they're interested in video games, or they're all interested in robotics and they're interested in art. How do you make that work? And again, I would say in advisory is one way to start working through it. With the counselors is another way. And the third way, which a lot of our girls do, is start a club based on your interests. So I know last year we didn't have a coding club. There were 2 girls that were super interested in coding, and they got 5 girls and they got an advisor. That's all it takes to get a club, and they got a club going. It's probably one of the most popular clubs now on campus. But had they not taken that initiative to kind of say, hey, I'm interested in this, and who else wants to join me? Now they have their friendship groups that are all into coding, and they are talking about it at lunchtime. They're talking about it after school. So also helping each other grow interests. Because of course, video gaming is a big interest with a lot of our girls. So that could be a club. There's also a game design class in high school that she can get involved in. And sometimes it's just finding your group of people that are similar interests to you, and then your choice of elective is really important as we grow up in the school, because that also gives you your friendship group. I know the high school robotics team is so close, and they really didn't even know each other before September, or August when they started. Another comment?
I think it's a great idea to explore, because I think the mom's comment was about appreciating others' interests and not just flocking to, and sort of for good reason. They are very close because they have a genuine interest. But maybe there is such a thing as doing some sort of cross-pollinating experiences where, I mean, not to add so much more into what's already going on, but it's a nice idea to talk about appreciating others' interests. Maybe there would be a way to have the different clubs visit another club, and maybe you find a partner in the other club and you kind of talk about it. Just, I don't know, possibilities.
Okay, so the comment from one of the other parents was that there might be a possibility to do joint club things, or somehow have some kind of appreciation for each other's interests, which I think is a great idea and something we can promote in advisory, and I appreciate that input. I know we're doing some work with, probably not immediately, but next semester, with across advisory activities and then across grade level activities, which I think will also bring in that appreciation and that understanding we're all a sisterhood and that we all want to support each other and not tear each other down. And I think that's a really important message that we're trying to get across as much as possible. But kind of have to start with your own group and then grow bigger. So we start with the advisories, and then we start going across advisories, then we go across grade levels. And that usually is second semester. So I think that'll be a really good help.
Just having a little patience.
Right.
Sometimes it takes that first year just to figure out who you are at Gala.
Yeah.
And so my daughter didn't know who that. Yeah, she didn't know who that was until second semester, maybe towards the end of the year. And those are all her good friends now, even if they don't have classes together. So it'll take some time.
Who knows, secrets.
So another parent response was to give it time, especially if you're new to Gala, because it takes a while to figure out who are your friends and who are people that you want to hang out with and that kind of thing, and just who you are. Again, that's going to be a process all the way through from 6th through 12th grade. It's a learning process, a growing process. As they move forward, they're going to have different interests, and it's really important that we support them as well. Kind of on that topic, as a school, we've been talking about a lot the kind of rise in hateful comments around the country, but also in our own community. And so we started with our advisories to talk about our language. Number one, not using swear words, which is not common here, but there are girls that use that kind of language. And what is better language that you can use when you're frustrated? How can you give your emotions or express your emotions in a better way, a more helpful way. And then just kind of stepping back and taking a deep breath when we're thinking about how we respond or how we talk to one another. Because we really have seen a huge rise in not only among the girls, but the tone of the emails that the teachers are getting, the tone of the emails I'm getting, the tone of phone calls. It's just a different element in terms of the respect we have for one another. So it's something we're working on as a school, and I would ask you as parents to begin thinking about what language you use around your daughters, because of course, in the Rachel Simmons books, they said that 80% of what, even though they don't act like it, 80% of the influence that they get the girls get from their parents is what they hold on to. So it's not their peers, which you normally think in research, but the research recently is showing that what you do and how you present yourself is how your daughters will also use as an example. So as a community, we're all talking about how do we express ourselves? How do we make sure our needs get met? But we express in a kind way and a gentle way, and we give each other time to learn and grow, just like we're giving the girls time to learn and grow. So I wanted to bring that up just because I feel like we need to reestablish, especially in this time of Thanksgiving, just how I want to say how grateful I am to my community, to you guys as parents, to the teachers, to the students. I am learning and growing each day from all of you. And I hope that everyone else feels the same way, and that we can just be thankful for this amazing community that we've all built together. And knowing we're only in our third year, we have a lot of growth in many different ways and a lot of learning to go. And I appreciate everyone's support. And I hope, like I was saying, in this time of Thanksgiving, that we can be very grateful for what we have here and what we'll have in the future as you all help us to keep growing. I wanted to end with that. And then now I will turn it over to, question.
One last question. You're talking about a lot of what you're at the talent show. Which, if any of those, are open to parents?
So the question was, what is open to parents? The only thing that's not open to parents is the talent show. The dance and music shows on the 4th and the 5th are open. There's also a Shakespeare Company performance on the 7th. Those are all open to parents. In fact, we encourage parents because those are actually fundraisers for those programs. So the Shakespeare Company is free, but the other two programs of dance and music are to help our arts program.
That's the same show offered on 2 days.
Right.
4th and the 5th.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Thanks for explaining that. Yeah, and then everything else is pretty much open to parents. So any other questions for me? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Fogala.
Good morning, everyone. Monica Henderson, your humble president of the Friends of Organization. Beloved. So today I'm going to very briefly just talk about some of our fundraising activities because that is kind of where our great push is right now. A couple of things that, well, the major thing is we fell short of being able to get a grant recently for our meal applications. We were short by 10 applications. 10 families did not turn in the meal application, which makes us not eligible for that lovely free money that we were going to be able to get. 10. Right. So when you say, oh, I don't matter, I don't count, this is that moment where you absolutely mattered, you absolutely counted, and your participation or lack thereof has now taken a little bit of money out of our budget for us to be able to fund things. So I would like you to think about that as you think about our annual Give campaign. We are trying to get 100% participation. Now, there's a couple of things that was very disturbing last month when I was out on the street waving those envelopes at people in their cars. One of the parents told another parent volunteer, "Why are you out here on the street begging for money? You should ask the district." Now, our district is very supportive in a lot of ways, but the things that your daughter gets that is above and beyond, and the reason why we're in a great school and our girls are getting the kind of education that they're getting is because of the annual Give campaign. It's because of our grant writing process. It's because of our parent volunteers. And so We ask the district for everything they can give us, but their resources for us are substantially lower than what we need in order to provide the quality of education that we are getting our girls, right? So when they go on, you should see Dr. Hicks's board of how many activities that they have for field trips. There's a bus here every week, probably 3 or 4, but for sure there's a bus here every week to cart our girls off to some experience at amazing places that you and I probably would love to visit and don't have the time or opportunity to, right? So your SpaceX's, your Googles, your just really amazing places. These things are helped in part by our money that we give to the girls. Every day, you guys have your daughters come home with these lovely Chromebooks, unless you're 6th grade, and I know it's coming. But they come home every day with a Chromebook, right? Every girl in our school has a Chromebook. That comes from the annual Give campaign. We have to buy an additional set of Chromebooks for next year because we have an additional 100 girls coming through our doors. And that is going to need to be replaced the year after that. So the giving is necessary for this to sustain. Right? It's not like, oh, well, the school is built, I don't have to give anymore. 8th grade parents, I'm talking to you. The lowest participation is from 8th grade parents in the middle school. The lowest participation in high school is coming from our 12th or our 11th grade parents. Think about that. So next year, when we're all fundraising for the graduation for your children, your participation dollars were not there. And I know I'm harping on it, but I've done everything in my own personal power, so I feel like I can stand on this soapbox. I have stood out on the street for 7 days in a row, before and after school, waving things at people. I have absolutely called people. I've begged people, hey, don't you want to give? It's not that hard. So here's what we're asking as far as participation. If you can commit to at least $20 a month on a regular basis, that counts as participation. If you have struggles and $20 a month is rough, but maybe $5 a month, that will work too. We just need you to participate. Now, those of you who are driving, and I've seen you, the Maseratis and the Porsches out there in the streets, you can give more because you were going to put your kid in that public school. And I'm sorry to be frank, I've been very nice for lots, very political, but I have physically been out here on the street begging for money, and it was hard to rip those cold envelopes from your hands. So I am pleading to you, if you can give more, we need it, because Dr. Hicks is running around this school like a crazy person by herself, and the district can't fund us until for her to get help. So we need to raise money for that. There are
Question: are all the funds that we're raising this year being used in this year, or are we holding them off for next year?
We spend every dollar every year.
So the 8th grade parents who have not given, aren't those dollars going to go into 8th graders being able to do things now?
Yes. 8th graders currently are reaping the benefits from something that they're not paying for. So here's what, this past board meeting that you were all open to come to, but you know, you may or may not have been able to participate. We gave Ms. Nur, she came and asked for money for IXL for all of the students to have extra help in math, right? Because, you know, we're STEM school, it's important for us to have the best in math. And we funded that with the annual Give campaign, right? The biomedical, she needed chemicals for bacteria. She listed a bunch of nastiness, let me tell you. Those chemicals and bacteria and cultures and a bunch of stuff that made me cringe. But it was necessary for the girls who were in the biomedical program to be able to learn in a lab. So they've been learning. She's done everything in her power. The program itself costs $30,000 a year. We don't have $30,000 a year to fund that. But what she has done is she's taken everything down, whittled it down to the cheapest version. And we are now paying for the biomedical engineer class to actually be able to do a lab based on the stuff that they're learning from videos and from text and from those kinds of things. We would love to fund more, but you're not participating. So let's get to participation here. Okay, the other thing is the leadership girls came to us and asked us to borrow some money because, one, they don't have credit cards because they're minors, but two, they want to have their dance provided for, right? the money we have for the annual gift campaign will cover the expenses of that. They will repay us based on their profits. But if we didn't have the money ahead of time, we wouldn't have the money to front them. It's like when your kids come to you and ask you for money, if you don't have it, you cannot give it. I need the money to be able to give, right? We need the money to be able to fund these things. I hate to be preachy, but we're at that point. Our annual gift campaign is coming to a close at the end of November. Okay, we have extended it to Thankful Tuesday, right? We're extending it to Thankful Tuesday because there is some places that will double down on your donations. Okay, I need you to participate. This is no longer me asking politely. This is me saying it is necessary for us to do all the things that we're trying to do to be able to fund this, because the money doesn't come and say, I would love to get paid for this, but we don't. We're all volunteers doing this. The money goes directly back into the school, and there's no other organization that you can say where there's no overhead, there's no administrative cost. It doesn't go to pay for ink. It doesn't go to pay for bureaucracy. This is the only organization that you will give your donations to, your annual give to, that goes directly to the beneficiaries, which are our children, okay? So I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that. I feel like you understand me now. And I want to let you know that there are a couple of other fundraisers that are coming down the pike. One is our gala field day. So we're trying to put together a sports field day. And it's going to be a day of tournaments, looking at soccer, basketball, and flag football. It's going to be parent and student participation. So each team must have parents and students combined. And your entry fee will go to fund our athletics department so that we can get more sports. And those of you who said, oh my gosh, what do you mean we're not going to have soccer? Guess what? Please be at this tournament so that we can fund our soccer program for next year, so that we can fund our lacrosse team, so we can fund our swim team, our tennis team. Those things, we need your help for sure. The other thing is, one of the parents went to the meeting last night. When you show up to meetings, you get things done. Last night, I had a Zoom call meeting with the Arts Guild, and there is a fundraiser on, I may be wrong on the dates, but it's December 15th and 16th, which is the Saturday and Sunday after we get out of school. If those dates are wrong, just line it up, okay? And all you need to do is buy tickets to see.
As a reminder, today after school, robotics will be having a
Reminder.
bake sale. As a reminder, today robotics club will be having a bake sale after school.
Speaking of things that we need to fund.
Robotics team will have a bake sale after school. So make sure your kids have money for those things. So she will. Oh, okay. And then where was I? Oh, so all you have to do is buy tickets to the performance. Take your whole family, take your colleagues, we get a percentage of the ticket. It costs us nothing, and there's no extra work for us to do. All we have to do is show up, and they will give us a check. They were originally going to work with a different nonprofit, but the other nonprofit had a lot of bureaucracy at the top. And so instead, they decided to reallocate their funds to us. So I will be looking for that in the newsletter this week. We will have more information about that. And Claudine, is there anything that we need to add? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Claudine, who's our vice president.
Hello, everybody, and hello, everybody. Just to harp on the giving, I want you to know that we've only received 27% participation. Now, I'm always one to look for good news. Last year, we only achieved 27% participation, which is definitely not great. So we've already achieved 27%. So feel a little good about that. But now that means we got a whole lot more to do. So please give now so that we can buy things for your kids now. Okay, second thing. So there is a major event every year. It's on March 8th. As Dr. Hicks mentioned, it's called International Women's Day. This year, well, I should say it's going to be 2019, we are going to plan, with your help, a whole special day. I have forgot to put in the newsletter, but there is a Zoom call this Thursday night, November 8th, at 8, November 8th at 8, to jump on our kickoff call for March 8th. So we have exactly 6 months. So if you are interested, and I hope there are many of you who are interested, please join that call or shoot me an email, vp@fogala.org. The goal of the call is to find out who's out there, who can help, and in what way. So whether it's time, resources, money, vendors, whatever it happens to be, please dial in, connect with me. November 8th, this Thursday, 8 o'clock for our major event in 6 months. Thanks.
Yes. And just want to piggyback on that. This will be a women's conference. So we're putting on a women's conference for our daughters on the campus. So instead of it just being a set of assemblies, they will be at a women's conference at school, which is amazing.
And let me just add one more thing. The goal that we have is to bring incredible women to this campus for our daughters to meet. So that will give the opportunity, if you know somebody in your world, in your life, who loves to share and who loves to, just tell her story, that is the goal. We are going to bring and we're going to invite influential women from all over the place. So if you know anybody, join on Thursday. Thank you. Questions?
So it's here, it's
It's
not
here.
at the Bell Theater.
No, so
You're getting two things confused.
Correct.
Talk
So-
about the March 22nd.
okay, so March is a very busy month for us. So put on your calendars, March 8th, hold the date.
International Women's Day.
Hold the date, International Women's Day. Block it out on your calendar. Take a sick day. Come for half the day. And then March 22nd is the
Women's Leadership Breakfast, known as Launch Her Future.
correct. So March 8th and March 22nd. March 8th will be here, where we will bring fabulous people to inspire our girls. And March 22nd will be at the Ebell Theater, morning breakfast.
Where we take our girls to inspire them. Yeah.
Good
raise
point.
money.
And raise money. So March
Yeah.
is a very big giving month.
Yay. Give.
Thank you from other people, because we're going to ask them
Them.
to give,
Yes.
because we will have so much confidence to say when they ask us, yeah, but have your families given?
We can say 100%. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. Is that it?
That's it for us.
Tell them to vote.
Oh, and vote today. Oh, another question. And vote.
We voted.
What happened? From my daughter's prior school, we've learned that parents tend to give when they understand where the funds are going to. Maybe I forgot. Is it listed in the newsletter how the funds are being used?
Great. So the question was, of course, we know that you would like to know where your dollars are going. So do we. That's why we're doing all this. We will, and we are in the process actually of revamping the friendsofgala.org website. It will eventually house the information about who the leaders for volunteer teams, what are the funds that we have raised, what are their funds going to. And we are building a list right now.
Yeah.
And
But
Monica can
we
tell more about it.
also we also actually post the minutes from the board meetings. So if you don't attend the board meetings, because that's when we approve all of the dollars that are being spent. So if you don't attend the board meetings, you can check the blog portion where the minutes are posted each month of what our previous board did. Usually takes about 2 weeks because we have to do board approval and everybody has to say, okay, it's fine. And then it gets put up there. But yeah.
But just to inspire these people, the last board meeting, we funded, meaning parents funded, a number of amazing
Yes.
things.
But those are those things I was telling you about, the IXL program for the math, the biomedical chemicals and nastiness. And it was just, the list she gave us was so just,
And then we also funded a special music group to come.
Drumming group.
Drumming group, a
groups to
special
come for-
drumming group
and then the leadership girls asked for money and we gave them money as well.
for the first school dance,
Mhm.
which is great. They're learning how to.
And then we
Fun.
provisionally funded something for a professional development for one of our teachers, but the district didn't let her go. So we said she could go. We were going to pay for it, but the district said no. But that's what happens when we have our board meetings, which is why when people, the reason why we made it public, because we had that question a lot. Where's the money going? you can sit in on those conversations and hear where the money is going and how we're coming up with what we're funding and what we're not funding.
And my goal is to actually have a document that's available on the FOGALA site privately to only the parents and families that will list that. I just haven't had all the bandwidth to make it all happen, but that is my goal so that there is transparency.
Because I understand it, but I think a lot of times I've learned from like prior schools that parents really don't realize the expenses. And I think when it's, you know, well-known and transparent, it's like, oh, okay,
Right.
I get it. And they tend
So let me add in a couple of things. One is if you're at a company that matches your donation, please make sure that you have that happen because we have gotten some great donations because of that.
Mhm.
If you have friends and family that would like to help us, they can also give to Friends of Gala. It doesn't have to be obviously the annual give, but they can give donations. I personally had a friend in the music industry that helped give some money to our music teacher, and that is where one of your annual fund things went to. We would not have a music teacher at all unless with the help of your funds. She's bringing in, she has a ukulele club, she has a drumming program, she has a choir, all in, it's been 12 weeks and she's gotten all those three things together. We're going to do a performance and we're doing the holiday performance. So she's a phenomenal teacher and you walk in there and the girls are so happy to do music. So I'm so grateful for you for that. But that's the kind of thing that your money funds, as well as the Chromebooks, which is no small feat. We have 488 students here and each one has a Chromebook. And we're going to bring in another 100 next year. So we're going to need more Chromebooks. That's another big purchase that we've had. And then the Pathways to Medicine, which was the medical program that the seventh and ninth went through last week. A lot of the buses for our field trips, I could not do that without your help. So there's a lot of really important things that go directly to your daughter. So again, I'm plugging to help with the annual fund. And even though I'm a little bit disappointed that it's actually eight families that didn't turn in we worked really hard. But you know, getting 480 out of 488 is nothing to see that because a lot of schools don't get to that level. So I appreciate everyone who actually did turn in their meal application. So I'm gonna.
So one thing I'm going to say too is that here's a good example of what we need to do because the district will not. Our school, according to current district guidelines, is too small to warrant Dr. Hicks having an assistant principal. Now, if anybody knows how the school runs, it's her. And she needs help.
Right.
And she needs knowledgeable, expert help.
Yes.
The district will not pay for that. And she cannot get burned out. So if you actually donate, we are trying to build enough funds to get her help. Yay!
Yeah, because she runs.
So donate.
Yep, she runs around the school in heels, no less. Yeah, and so that is kind of one of the reasons why we really need to push. Imagine if she gets sick and has the flu for a week, right? Now, I'm not wishing that on her. We're knocking on all the wood that we possibly can, right? But if she gets sick, there's no second in charge to step in her shoes, which means we will get an outside sub from the district who knows nothing about our school to be there for the week. Your children will be taken care of by the guy down the street that you don't know very well, right? Who's never been inside of your house, who doesn't understand what happens in your house versus a really competent nanny who's there who's a mama's helper and who's there all the time and knows the routines and how things go and where everything is. That's the difference between having a sub from the district and having a vice principal be there to help her. Okay. I really need you guys to help. And I'm, again, off the soapbox again, stepping off. So with that, you guys have a awesome day and week. And don't forget to vote and give. Amen. Stop recording.